Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Rob Singleton,
Please proceed. Thank you.
and you've just reached Ask P. Road. Today we're going to talk about We Are Family, not the song We Are Family, not that one, but what the Bible has to say about family, because it's a lot. But you know the routine. Before we dive in, do me just a little favor. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and you won't have to miss a single episode of Ask P. Road. Well, great historical figures are often remembered for their powerful words.
Strong am I with the Force.
The quotations they have that live on in infamy, or in a good way, rather. Let me see if you can guess some of these. Give me liberty or give me death was said by 3, 2, 1, Patrick Henry, American Revolution times. We have nothing to fear but fear itself, said 3, 2, 1, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. If you just said Roosevelt, you got it wrong. So you're 0 for 2. But try this. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. Come on, everybody knows that one. I'm not even giving you 3 seconds. It's John F. Kennedy in his first inaugural address. A couple more. One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Well, those were the words of Neil Armstrong, the first man to put his foot on the surface of the moon. But the best one, I think by far, was uttered by Joshua in the Old Testament. He said, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." He declared this on the plains of Shechem. So if everybody else was not going to follow him, he would just say Shechem. That's a joke. He didn't say that. There are 4 important truths about family we can learn from Joshua's declaration, though. First, there is a very, very important realization. See, if I say, "As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord," I got to realize that it begins with me. I just said it. Me and my house.
Yeah, me. Everyone else in the kingdom gets it.
I lead the way then. Where I am will set the stage for where my kids will end up, what I'm doing, who I am privately, all of that. If I watch, for example, questionable stuff on TV late at night or sneak off to the movies, I can't expect my kids not to do the same. Oh, but my kids don't know, Pastor Rob. They have no idea. I'm pretty secretive. Well, Jesus declares that what you do in secret, the Father sees and will reward openly, or the opposite. Therefore, if you want your sons and daughters to be Bible lovers, love the Bible yourself.
And it starts with you.
Develop a deep devotional life personally and privately. If you want your kids to be pure, then live in purity in your secret life, because what you do in secret will inevitably impact your children and grandchildren, and that'll be what they end up doing, maybe not even secretly.
Oh yeah, everybody knows.
I think of David. When he was just a teenager, he killed the giant Goliath. The years went by, and we see him on his deathbed in Scripture, surrounded by this group that was known as David's mighty men. And Scripture records that they were giant killers themselves. 2 Samuel 23 talks about a couple of them. You know what? They never saw David kill Goliath. Yet fearlessly waging war against evil was part of David's character. It's who he was. And it was transferred to the men who spent time with him. Think about, on the other hand, in the list of men who surrounded Saul, we don't find even one giant killer, because Saul, who was afraid to do battle with Goliath, never killed a giant himself. Dad, your kids or grandchildren will take on aspects not of what they see you do only, but of who you actually are. When Achan in the Bible sinned, his whole family paid the price, because what he did in secret in due time affected his entire family publicly. That's in Joshua 7 if you want to read about it. I remember reading about a man who shared his testimony saying that I'm a born-again Christian, but I enjoy alcohol. This is just kind of where I'm at. But he added something that happened in regards to that. One Thanksgiving where he lived, the snow was falling, and after the family feast was over, he wanted to get something to drink and his liquor cabinet was empty. So he put his hat and his coat and his galoshes on, and he went outside to walk 3 blocks away to the liquor store. Halfway to his destination, he sensed that somebody was following him. He turned around and he saw his 4-year-old son with his hat, coat, and galoshes on, taking giant steps but putting his little feet in the newly fallen snow where his father had left his own footprints. "Hey buddy, what are you doing?" the father asked. "Daddy, I'm just walking in your footsteps," his son proudly answered. "He's walking in my footsteps," thought the man, "and I'm going to the liquor store. Is that what I want for my boy?" Immediately he turned around, went home with his son, and for this guy, he never drank again. I can have beer and wine, Pastor Rob. What are you trying to say? Is this whole thing about that? Was this a bait and switch? No, in fact, I'd say sure, you can. You can do a lot of things. Paul talks about the liberty we have as Christians. But here's the point. What do you want your kids to do? Where do you want your kids to go? Like this man, do you want them to go there? No? Here's the second thing, a grand celebration. As for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. The book of Joshua illustrates not only the spirit-filled life, but also our Joshua, our leader, Jesus. Who are my sisters and brothers? Jesus was asked. They who do the will of God, he answered. Matthew 12, 48 through 50. You know what? That's us. We're his family. We're his house. Jesus served his Father perfectly. And that gives me great hope because I realize that even when I drop the ball, which is way too much, when I mess up or miss the mark, I'm in the house of one who doesn't miss the mark, who doesn't drop the ball, who never fails. That means even if I'm faithless, he will be faithful still. 2 Timothy 2:13. Lord, even though everyone else forsakes you, I won't, Peter boasted. Remember that in Scripture? He said, I'll die beside you. But by the time the rooster crowed, however, Peter had denied Jesus 3 times. You can read about that in John 18. After Jesus arose from the dead, he found Peter and he said, do you love me? 3 times Peter had denied him. Now Jesus gives him 3 opportunities to say 3 times, I love you. And he didn't really do much better at that, but it was a progression in the right direction. But Jesus added, feed my lambs, and as if to say, you're not disqualified. In fact, here's what I want you to start doing as I use you again for my kingdom. You might have been parents more concerned about your kids liking you than about preparing them properly. I don't know. But I do know this, it's not too late. It's a new day. Starting here and now, God will see you through if you let him. And if your kids are grown, you can still be involved with grandchildren or kids in the congregation. They're lambs for you to feed. Well, once again, the family is not a light or a short subject in the Bible. It's huge. So I'm going to tackle this in 2 parts. I'll see you next time for part 2 of We Are Family.